Have you lost hope? Have you been thinking that this is it? Life is over. I've done probably as much as I'm going to be able to do. I'm stuck in this career. I'm stuck in this job. I'm stuck not being able to get a job. Or if I do get a job, it's not going to really be in the field that I want, all because of the limitations of my speech. Have you been feeling like that? Have you kind of lost hope? If so, I want you to know that, first of all, you're not alone. I talk to many people, many people. I've heard from many people who have felt that way. And I also want you to know that there are some things that you can do about it. My name is Michael Williams, Pro90D founder and speech coach. And we're going to look today specifically at two conditions that are required for you to gain hope. So I'm hoping that by the end of this short video, you will have the sparks of hope that says, wow, you know what? I'm not stuck. I can do something about this. Life can be so much better and so much greater than what it is right now. So let's just jump right into it. There are two conditions that are required. Two conditions that are required for you to gain hope and to maintain it, to gain it, to keep it throughout this process that I'm going to call your smooth speech journey. And what that simply means is that if you've been struggling with your speech, and it doesn't matter what it is, it could be that you tend to freeze up under pressure, you forget what you want to say, you're not able to clearly articulate your thoughts in certain speaking situations, or you stutter or you stammer or you speak too fast. English is not your first language and people have a hard time understanding. Whatever the situation might be, you're struggling with it. It's been holding you back. It's either been keeping you from getting the jobs you want or the promotions that you want, or you've been quiet when you really want to speak up. All the things that someone would struggle with when they're struggling with their speech. If that's where you are now, then I want you to tune in, because these two conditions are the ones that are going to need to be present for you to move past that and have hope. So the first condition is that you have to believe. I said you have to believe. So this is condition number one, is that you have to believe what? You have to believe that it's possible and probable that there is something you can do to dramatically, not just a little bit, but dramatically improve your speech, dramatically improve your communication skills. So you have to believe, that is, you have to have the confidence, right? Confidence, which is the word that we kind of want to use here. Confidence that you can do something, not just that something can be done, but that you have the power to do something about your speech. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit today, and then we're going to go into it a little deeper in future videos. We'll talk a little bit today about this first condition, and then in the next video we'll talk about the second condition. We'll look at a few other things, but you got to believe that it's possible, because if you don't believe that it's possible, then you're not going to have the hope. Wow, this actually can happen for me. I can smooth out my speech. I can say the things I want to say when I want to say them, right? In the way that I want to say them. If you don't believe that that's even possible for you, and that belief or that lack of belief may come from your having tried stuff before and failed. That's understandable. You've all done that. So if you believe that it's possible, okay, then you will have hope. You'll have hope. And when you have hope, you feel a little bit more excited. You feel more encouraged. Your reticular activating system starts to look for and see and filter in the information and the resources that you need to improve your speech. Your reticular activating system is a small part of the brain that actually perks up, if you will. It opens up and it begins to look for and see things that you've signaled that are important for you in that moment. So if you say, I want to buy a new house, then all of a sudden, if you notice, you'll start to see for sale signs. You'll start to see signs and ads in the internet or wherever you're looking. You'll start to see information about new houses, okay? Or if you're looking for a new car, a certain kind of, I want an electric car. And you'll start to see ads for electric cars on TV, on the internet. You'll start to see more electric cars. That's your reticular activating system kind of perking up, raising your awareness of the specific thing that you've said you're interested in that moment. Okay, so when you say, you know what, I believe I can improve my speech, I believe I can, then all of a sudden you begin to look for and see information and resources that will help you improve your speech. If you say, I don't think it's possible, then you won't even see the resources that are right there in front of you. You won't see the possibilities, right, that are right there in front of you. Does this make sense? This is absolutely true. So, first you have to have the belief and the confidence. Now, where's this confidence going to come from? Well, I want to talk to you about a couple of things, and one of them has to do with this. Neuroplasticity, okay, that's the first one. And then the next one we'll talk about in just a moment. So neuroplasticity simply means that your brain and my brain has the capacity to change, to grow new connections between neurons, right? It has the capacity to strengthen neural connections. What that translates into is that you and I have the capacity to learn, right, new skills, to learn new habits, to create new habits. We have that capacity. Now, for many, many years, people thought, and scientists believe, that after a certain age, you're done, right? It becomes more difficult to learn. You're not going to grow any new brain cells. Your brain is not going to make any new connections and all of that. But what they've learned since then is that that's not true. That as we get older, we're still able to learn, we're still able to create new habits and learn new skills and so forth and so on. And so we call this neuroplasticity. This word plasticity means that it's malleable, right? That it's able to change, that it's able to grow, to expand, if you will. Neuroplasticity, right? It's not like concrete, it's not fixed, it's plastic. So your brain has this capacity. Now this next word is very much related, and it's called Neurogenesis. Now what do you think that means? Well, neurogenesis means that your brain has the capacity to grow new nerve cells, new brain cells, right? It has the capacity to grow new brain cells. Now, this is the thing that's very exciting about this. People who have had strokes, where there's been a limitation or restriction of blood to certain areas of the brain, and so those brain cells, some of the brain cells can begin to die, right, or weaken, if you will, so that the person all of a sudden is unable to speak, or they're not able to walk, or they have limitations on one side of their body, right? You've probably seen or heard about this. And so people who've had strokes where there's actual brain damage to the area and areas of their brain that manage speech, if they are able, through therapy and through just hard work, right, and consistency, if they're able to regain their speech, their cognitive abilities, their ability to walk, if they're able to do that, and they've had brain damage, even if it's temporary, then what do you think you and I are capable of doing if we haven't had brain damage, right, in the areas of our speech? So it doesn't matter if you believe stuttering is neurological, or if you believe it's something that's hereditary, or if it's permanent. If there's areas of our brain where the neurotransmitters are firing too much, or there's too many or too much neurotransmitter, which causes some kind of dysfunction in our speech, right? Or if there's not enough neurotransmitter and that's causing some kind of dysfunction in our speech, or there's a delay in the signal processing, which disallows us to speak fluently. It doesn't matter what you believe about stuttering or where it comes from. The only thing is, and the important thing is, that you believe that your brain has the ability to change, to grow new cells, to grow new connections, to strengthen other connections, so that you can retrain or rewire your brain to speak well. That's the only thing that's important. If you believe that that's possible, and if it's possible for people that have had damage, it's also possible for you. And here's the final word that we want to look at. I'm going to call this recruit. You can say recruitment, if you will. You say, well, what is recruitment? Am I going into the military or something? No. What this means is that your brain is capable of going and recruiting other areas of your brain not normally involved in speech, recruiting those other areas to come in and assist and help with speaking. Okay? So this means that, let's just say there's some areas in your brain, or an area in your brain that manages speech. There's a delay. You want to say something, it just doesn't come out. Whatever's involved in stuttering. Well, guess what? Through this process of neuroplasticity, and in some cases neurogenesis, through this process, your brain is able to say, okay, this isn't quite working the way it should. Like, we're not able to speak as fluently as we should. So we're going to go out and recruit other areas of our brain so that they can help us out here, so that we can speak smoothly, so that we can say the things that we want to say. And what Pro90D does is, it's a systematic process and a holistic process that allows you, right, through your own efforts, through your own intentions, your own intentionality. This is what I want to do. So through your own efforts, we've developed a system that allows you to manage your brain so that it can go and say, okay, maybe this isn't quite working the way it should. Let's recruit this area and bring it in and have it help us speak well. Let me just give you some examples that are contained within our proactive speaking skills. So for example, when a person uses their hands to help them speak, to explain themselves, this is one of those things that the brain can do to assist you with speaking, right? I call this somatic assistance, where your brain is, where your body is actually helping you to speak. It's assisting you. When you use facial expressions and head gestures and body movements, and you articulate, you use your mouth and you modulate your voice, these are all things that you are actively and proactively doing to help you speak better. Okay? Does this make sense? These are just a few of the things. So when you learn how to do these things, your brain is kind of compensating and using different parts of your brain and different body movements to assist you in speaking. But not only this, here's the good news. You are becoming not just an average speaker, not just getting back up to the baseline. You're becoming an excellent speaker, an amazing speaker, because all the things that you learn in Pro90D, including breathing, aren't things that look strange or sound weird. They're things that enhance your speech, that help you to grab attention and hold attention, that help you to more clearly, powerfully, persuasively communicate, articulate your thoughts and ideas. That's the benefit of Pro 90D. So we're going to wrap this video up by summarizing a couple of things. Number one, if you've been feeling stuck, if you've kind of lost hope, you don't have to stay there, because there's scientific evidence and proof to show that you can do something, right? You can do something to change your brain to help you speak smoother. There are some things that you can do to rewire your brain, okay, to help you to speak better. It's a fact. You can do it, right? And we'll talk about how. Okay, well, how do I do it? We'll talk about that. So the first condition for you to gain hope is confidence. You have to have confidence. You have to believe that it's possible. And I've just shared with you, in somewhat of a non-scientific way, that you can through your actions change your brain. And you can change your brain in such a way that you can speak more smoothly, more calmly, more clearly, more confidently, despite how severe you might be in either direction, whether it's stuttering, stammering, or whether it's speaking too fast, or whether it's cracking under pressure. You can change the way that you speak. But not only that, Pro 90D not only addresses the physical side, it addresses the mental side. You can change your thinking patterns. You can change your beliefs, which we'll talk about in future videos. Okay? Very, very important that you have hope. Right? I want you to leave this video having some degree of hope that you can change. Not only can you change, but you can enhance your speech well beyond what you ever thought. Okay? So if you believe this, and I want you to do your own research on this, right? Do your research on how people recover from stroke, how people have changed their brains to do this and do that, and look at athletes and look at all of that. But not only that, we have over a decade of experience doing this, and we have tens of thousands of people who've done this, and I have thousands and thousands of people who I've personally worked with and watched them transform their speech. And the reason why is because they believed, they had confidence that this could happen. They had confidence that, in fact, they could change their brains, right? So the first condition is confidence. We'll talk about the second condition and some other things and beliefs and so forth in the next video and the following videos. And that's going to be very important to you, because your beliefs can pull you back. So we have to talk about that. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you'd like to get started working on your speech now, you can work with me one-on-one, which will accelerate the process, make it faster and easier, or you can start with our self-study. Both are great options. It depends on you. We'll put some links in or around the video that'll help you do that. Thank you. My name is Michael Williams. See you in the next video.